Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel if you haven't been here before, and if you haven't been here before, please subscribe to be a part of the bilingual family, which is mostly me trying to speak English, and subscribe. I got my Fenty Beauty skin tint in the mail and we're gonna try it out. That's the intro for today's video. I feel like Fenty finally gave me what I really wanted from them, which is a tinted moisturizer, and I am so grateful. I know that their original foundation isn't really a foundation that is loved by many. The shade range is loved by many, but the actual formula is a lot of the times way too matte. And the hydrating foundation, which is the one that I also own, is not good for me. So this is the Fenty Beauty by Rihanna Ease Drop Blurring Skin Tint. You get 32 ml of product. It's a light to medium coverage for all skin tones, blends and blurs to instant perfection and light as air. Okay, so the Ease Drop Blurring Skin Tint retails for $29.50. There are 25 shades to choose from, which in today's environment is not necessarily a lot of shades, but Fenty says that the 25 shades that are available are shades that are very flexible and will cover a range of skin tones. Now, I don't necessarily know what I think of that concept. I do understand foundation having more of a sheerer coverage and therefore blending it in, and it doesn't really, it's not a mask of color. Still, you have undertones with different people that work for you, and I don't know how you can put different shades in your foundation into one shade, if that makes sense. I picked up shade 3. I was going to go for shade number 2 because that is one of the lightest shades, but I felt like the undertone for me personally wasn't necessarily the best, so I went with shade 3. I already have my sunscreen on and also the Bobbi Brown vitamin enriched face base as a kind of like makeup prep. Okay, so when you take a look at my skin, you can see that my skin is pretty okay, but I also have some blemishes and like acne scarring. It's more like acne hyperpigmentation, it's not necessarily scarring. Whenever I get like spots or like really bad breakouts, I am left behind after that with like very small purple dots on my face, and that is the texture that you can see right now. This is what it looks like. I really like the packaging. I think the packaging is always quite unique and geometrical with Fenty, and I really like that. Shade 3 is described as a light with warm neutral undertones. Okay, so it says to shake well. I'm actually gonna swatch the color on the back of my hand. It looks fine actually. It looks like some of my other foundations that I have. So this is shade 3. So I'm gonna try, and yeah, it's a summer shade. And then I'm gonna take my sponge on this side and we're just gonna blend this out. This is the first initial layer. So I'm just gonna apply a little bit more. Okay, I think this might be the first foundation from Fenty that I actually like. Oh yeah, by the way, it also says that you can apply this with your hands. I am not much of a foundation hands type of person. I'm more like a dry sponge or a brush type of person. So this is what the foundation looks like on one side of my face with a sponge. Now I have to say that I'm actually really impressed for the first time with a Fenty foundation. So it definitely has the slight blurred finish that they were talking about. I feel like I can really see that on my skin. And this doesn't seem to have much of matte formula. If you look at my skin, I don't know how well it translates on camera, but you can still see that sheen. Now, I do think that my skincare and the Bobbi Brown vitamin enriched face base really helped with that. I think without it, which I don't recommend doing, it would be a little bit more on the satin kind of side. So not entirely completely like dewy or luminous, but with the skincare and the base that I applied, it looks really nice and healthy. So my camera wasn't recording, but I was basically saying that this foundation feels extremely lightweight, which is something that is really important for me in a foundation. I don't like foundations that feel heavy on the skin and that feel as if they're suffocating my skin, and that's definitely something that this one isn't doing. I apologize for the lightning. It's very cloudy and sunny today at the same time. I was obviously having some issues with the lighting in the previous clip. I am so sorry. It's very difficult to film in natural light but it's my favorite light. So this is what the foundation looks like with a sponge and with a brush. Now for the brush side, I actually didn't really notice much of a difference between the sponge and the brush. It was very easy to blend out with a brush, and right now the foundation I think looks really stunning on my skin. I really love the finish that it has, the kind of sheeniness on my face, and also just like the blurred effects. I love the coverage that it has, and the biggest thing that I am currently a fan of is definitely the lightweightness on my face. Now the shade 3 is definitely a shade that I see myself wearing during the summer, and I even think about picking up maybe shade 2 in the future for the winter time, because right now, even though this is a first impressions, I can usually tell a lot from a first impressions when it comes to a foundation. I just find myself really liking this foundation and the way that it looks on my skin right now. So I'm quickly going to do some simple makeup and I'll be right back. Before I do my makeup, almost forgot, I'm quickly going to show you a little bit of a close-up from my skin and how the foundation looks. Oh, don't mind the mustache, of course. So I have my other makeup on, I've completed my face, and this is the final look with the Fenty Ease Drop Blurring Skin Tint as the base for this look. I said I was going to do a simple look, obviously it didn't turn out simple. I want to round off this first impressions because this is a first impressions, it's not a complete review, especially now that my makeup is like completely finished. I really appreciate how it looks in conjunction with blush, bronzer, and just concealer and all of that. I love the way that this feels on my skin. It feels very lightweight, and even though this is more of a full-on look, I feel like the coverage is balancing it out really nicely and is making it look a little bit more editorial, a little bit more glowy and glossy. As you can see from the first videos where I don't have my full face on, it's definitely also a foundation that you can quickly throw on for a little bit of coverage to even out the skin tone and you'll be fine. But you know, shade 3 is one that can work for me during the summer, and I will probably pick up shade 2 in the future. This definitely has my stamp of approval. I think it is a beautiful foundation. Like I said, foundations are something that I struggle with dry skin and just like the suffocating feeling, but this doesn't really tick any of those boxes like of negative things. It only really ticks a lot of positive boxes, so I'm excited to try this out a little bit more and keep you updated. Now that concludes everything for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and please let me know down below in the comments what you think of this video. I hope I gave you enough information. Don't forget to leave a like or a comment down below and subscribe to be a part of the family, and I'll see you next time. Bye!